Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. Welcome to this week's NXT review. I am in really good spirits at the moment. Things are just really enjoyable from a wrestling point of view. I've seen a few review videos on the internet where people are saying, Clash of Champions weren't that good, Raw wasn't that good, SmackDown wasn't that good. Personally, I think there's some really good stuff going on at the moment. Imagine the smile that was put on my face when Ty Dillinger came walking out near the start of this show. The very start was given over to the fact that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is coming back, which is always great to see. It was a very enjoyable tournament last year. For me, I'm going to pick an early winner. I'm going with Authors of Pain. They haven't announced their intention of partaking in it yet, but why would they not? And they are this, absolutely dominant, unstoppable force. I think they'll have some tough competition, but I think it's right that they win because they need something now to take them to the next level. And actually, after their squash match this week, they were up against Yernitz and Cruz. After their squash match, Paul Ellering got on the microphone and said that a plethora of pain was coming and that they were now moving into the second phase, and I completely agree. They need to move into that second phase. It's been too long now where they've just been having squash matches. That's going to be my early pick for winning that. Ty comes out, he's up against Angelo Dawkins. He wins with a tiebreaker, and it was an okay match. A little bit of back and forth, a few strikes. Angelo's headband popping off was quite a funny moment. But Ty Dillinger, man, is just so over, and what a moment after. Unfortunately, I didn't record any reactions to it, but when Bobby Roode came out and asked Ty because I thought it was going to be a feud, and when he said, I need the perfect partner, and he asks Ty if he'll be his partner, amazing. My feeling with that is that they will do well and they will get through the first rounds, and then they will lose and Bobby Roode will turn on Ty Dillinger, and then that will be the feud that will take us into 2017, I'd imagine. I'm really on board with that. I like what they're doing. Next up, we see the Ely Brothers going up against the Revival. I say we saw that match, we didn't. But the Ely Brothers look great. They've got this real athletic kind of physiques. They're both identical. It's the first identical twins to be in NXT. NXT needs tag teams that stand out, needs tag teams that connect and have got something about them. Authors of Pain, fine. Revival are obviously established. Gargano and Ciampa, I think, are brilliant. But really, you start scraping the barrel. TM61 haven't really connected. Blake and Murphy have gone their separate ways. I think there's a big opportunity for the Ely Brothers. So I was really looking forward to seeing what they could do. Revival come out, but Samoa Joe beats them to it and then starts beating up on the Ely Brothers. It was absolute senton destruction, just bang, jumping all over them. It was great, and he was like, Regal, this is because of your indecisiveness. I love what they're doing with that whole storyline. NXT is just ticking a lot of boxes for me at the moment. Dan Mather coming next week, I think it is. He looks awesome, so I'm looking forward to his debut. Next up, we get Mandy Rose, who's like Eva Marie, who can wrestle, going up against Ember Moon. And this was good, fall away slam and a kick up from Ember. A beautiful bicycle kick, knee to the face from Mandy Rose, which looked brutal. Mandy trash talking the referee. Ember Moon wins with that corkscrew, spinning stunner thing finisher that she has. I hope that they need to name that so that I know what I can call it. Like the Eclipse, I think is the one that I'm favouring. But before we move on from that, Mandy Rose looked brilliant. I thought she looked really good in the ring, really comfortable, had some great moments. Ember Moon picks up the victory. This was a good match. Ticked the box again, did what it needed to do. Gargano and Ciampa next doing a promo, and they were talking of ticking boxes. A lot of ticking boxes this week. But they were like, yeah, we've got a list of things to do. We need to win the Tag Team Classic, tick. We need to beat the Revival, tick. And we need to become NXT Tag Team Champions, tick. So they were going really after that. Dusty Rhodes, they kind of made their intentions clear. They want that Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. They are my favourite tag team at the moment. Authors of Pain against Yernitz and Cruz, we spoke about that squash match, but that moment where, I can't remember which one, Razor or whoever, had that guy that walks over and just hurls him to the floor. It looked horrific. But they're my pick to win it. You've heard it here first. Authors of Pain. And then we get Asuka against Liv Morgan. Fascinating. I was fascinated by this. I really like Liv Morgan. I think, she's very agile in the ring. She's young. She's got plenty of time to keep developing. But I love the fact that she's calling out the women's champion. She's not happy to just go through the motions and all of that. So they give her this big match against the women's champion, and it didn't go to plan for her, but I was fascinated with what they were going to do. I expected them to have a very competitive match and for Liv to just come up short. That is not the story that they told. The story that they told was that Liv delivered a drop kick, Asuka kind of just stumbled a little bit, kind of brushed it off, couple of strikes. All that did was it fired Asuka up. Asuka gets Liv down into like this armbar submission hold. Liv Morgan taps out. She doesn't have any other choice. So I'm really interested to see what Liv's got to say about it. She called out the best. She got squashed. She was not in her league, and Asuka said that none of them are. So I don't know where we go from here, but we've obviously got to go somewhere. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what Liv Morgan's got to say for herself. Then it was announced that CN, Almas and Cedric Alexander will go up against the Revival in that first round next week. Surely the Revival go through their tag team champions and all, so but it should be a good match. And then we got Lince Dorado against Hideo Itami. This was good as well. I mean, not amazing, not CWC quality for me, but nice moonsault from Lince. Big kicks from Hideo as always. A missed shooting star from Dorado. GTS chance. Hideo delivers it. 1, 2, 3. Hideo Itami wins. It was a decent length match. It was main event. It kind of felt like main event length of time, and like some of the spots, the bits they were doing on the outside, and it was good. It was fine. It was obviously no great surprise when Austin Aries came down and jumped Hideo afterwards, because obviously that's a feud that's building quite nicely. I'm not sure when the payoff comes to that, but you'd think TakeOver Toronto. And they were saying that the final of the Dusty Rhodes Classic will be at TakeOver Toronto as well. I would think Samoa Joe Nakamura will be at TakeOver Toronto. Asuka will have to have some kind of competitor, maybe Ember Moon, maybe something happens with Liv Morgan and we get that, but I don't know. I thought this was a great show, and I'm really interested with what's going on. The difference between NXT and the main roster is the main roster just feels like it's going through the motions. Main roster really feels like, right, yeah, now we're going to do this, and yeah, we'll do that, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it feels a bit loose. Whereas with NXT, they've got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, so you know exactly what's going to be happening with the tag teams, and even some single stars like we saw with Ty and Bobby Roode. It's going to give them purpose, and you know exactly what's happening with that. We've got TakeOver Toronto on the horizon, so clearly anyone that's kind of left out of that is going to be building their feuds towards that. You've got some interesting stuff, as I said, in the women's division. Really enjoyed Ember Moon against Mandy Rose. Obviously Liv Morgan, want to see what she's got to say. Who can go up against Asuka? There's questions. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of questions at the moment that I can't wait to watch next week to see if I get a few more answers. And that is, the difference. That's the difference. NXT asks a lot of questions, and you have to tune in next week and watch to get a few answers. Whereas with the WWE main roster, I don't really have any questions. What questions do I have about Raw? Triple H, will he get involved at some point? Does Steph know about Triple H? I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference for me. That's the difference. NXT, best show of the 3 this week. But comfortably for me. Even better than SmackDown. Which I know quite a few of you might disagree with. I just enjoyed it more. Simple. Just enjoyed it more. And no stupid Kurt Hawkins promos on NXT, so it makes a big difference. Awesome, guys. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, really would appreciate it if you would. Or could. And hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.